History has been made at the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Lando Norris has claimed his first Formula One World Championship, finishing third in the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on the 7th of December, 2025. The 26-year-old British driver secured the title by just 2 points over Red Bull's Max Verstappen, with his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri finishing 13 points behind in third place overall. Norris becomes the 11th British F1 World Champion and the first since Lewis Hamilton in 2020. For McLaren, this marks their first drivers and constructors title double since 1998, ending a 27-year wait for the iconic team. Entering the final race, Norris held a 12-point lead over Verstappen and a 16-point lead over Piastri, with a maximum of 25 points available for victory. All three drivers were mathematically in contention for the championship, but Norris only needed a podium finish to clinch the trophy, regardless of where his rivals finished. The pressure was immense after McLaren had suffered 2 difficult races in the Grand Prix preceding Abu Dhabi, including a double disqualification in Las Vegas for illegal plank wear and a botched strategy that handed Verstappen victory in Qatar. Verstappen qualified on pole position and defended his lead aggressively at the start, moving over to cover off Norris, who started second. But the opening lap delivered immediate drama. Halfway around the first lap, Piastri swept around the outside of Norris at turn 9, a strategic move that brought the Australian into play for victory against Verstappen. Piastri was on hard tires, while Verstappen and Norris were on mediums. So, the plan was to run long and give Red Bull something to consider, while reducing the risk of backing up the field to Norris's disadvantage. This tactical flexibility gave McLaren options, but it also added jeopardy to Norris's title bid as he dropped to third place immediately. Norris found himself battling Ferrari's Charles Leclerc for third place, but remained composed under pressure. On lap 17, Norris made his first pit stop and emerged into traffic, creating several nervous moments as he had to overtake multiple cars that stayed out on track. The most critical incident came when he caught up with Red Bull's Yuki Tsunoda, who had started on hard tires for the express purpose of affecting the race of Verstappen's rival, echoing the tactics Sergio Perez employed against Lewis Hamilton in the controversial 2021 Abu Dhabi decider at the same circuit. Red Bull made it clear that Tsunoda knew what to do after being told to do everything he could to hold up Norris. On lap 23, Tsunoda weaved down the straight, but Norris committed to the inside and kept his foot hard down even as he was edged slightly off track. The incident was put under investigation by the stewards, with the question being whether Norris would receive a penalty for overtaking off the track. McLaren CEO Zak Brown called it a dangerous and unnecessary maneuver by Tsunoda in a mid-race interview. The stewards took no further action against Norris, but penalized Tsunoda with a 5-second time penalty for making too many moves in defense. From that point forward, the race settled into a tense but manageable rhythm for Norris. Verstappen dominated at the front, building a comfortable gap to secure his 8th victory of the season. Piastri ran very long on his hard tires, so much so that Verstappen was able to pit and eventually overtake him before the Australian finally went into the pits, with 16 laps remaining. Piastri finished second on the night, but was unable to produce the miracle he required, which would have been a win with Norris finishing 6th or worse. Norris's strategy became all about defending third place from the late-stopping Leclerc, who pitted late onto a quicker set of medium tires. In the final laps, Norris briefly chased Piastri for second place before backing off, knowing third was sufficient to crown him world champion. As Norris crossed the line, his emotions poured out over team radio. "I love you guys. Thanks for everything. You deserve it. We did it, guys," he said jubilantly. On the slowing down lap, Norris cried in his car as he accepted congratulations from his team. "I've not cried in a while, and I didn't think I would cry, but I did," said the jubilant new champion. "It feels amazing. I now know what Max feels like." Norris revealed what he was thinking about during those final laps. "My first ever time in a go-kart, looking like an absolute rookie," he laughed. The 16 to 17 years of chasing this dream had finally culminated in the sport's ultimate prize. The path to this championship was anything but straightforward. Norris entered 2025 as the title favorite and won the opening race, making good on his bold proclamation after winning the 2024 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. "Next year is going to be my year." The controversial moments throughout the season proved decisive in the final championship margin. The Monza incident, where Piastri gave up the position to Norris, proved crucial as it created a 3-point swing. Norris would have lost 3 points if Piastri had not allowed his teammate to pass him at the Italian circuit. Additionally, A penalty at Silverstone cost Piastri a win, creating a 14-point swing. Combined with the Las Vegas double disqualification and Norris gaining 2 points late in Qatar, these moments accumulated to create the razor-thin 2-point final margin between Norris and Verstappen. Verstappen's comeback attempt was nothing short of remarkable. He fought back with a series of stellar performances and capitalized on unforced errors by McLaren. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella credited Red Bull for raising the bar and pushing his drivers all the way. There was pain and disappointment in the last few races, but I'm most proud of how we responded to the difficulties. This makes the difference when you're trying to beat a 4-time world champion, Stella said. Despite winning the Abu Dhabi race and matching his season total at 8 victories, Verstappen's 4-year championship reign came to an end, perhaps making this the most impressive year of his career, despite not winning the title. For Piastri, the season ended in heartbreak despite leading the championship longer than anyone else in 2025. This was just his 3rd F1 season compared to Norris's 7th, matching Verstappen, who won his first title in his 7th season as well. The young Australian demonstrated his future world champion credentials, but the combination of his late-season slump and those critical controversial moments left him 16 points back heading into the finale, reliant on a Norris disaster that never materialized. Norris paid tribute to his teammate. He's newer to this than me, but I've learned a lot from him. He was performing much better than me until the season break. I've really benefited from having him as a teammate. Sadly, we've got plenty more seasons together. McLaren's triumph was complete as they secured both championships. Zach Brown emphasized that we let our 2 drivers race to the end. A lot of people said that was impossible to pull off. The team had won the constructors title with 6 races to go, and both drivers won 7 races each during the season, with only George Russell of Mercedes winning races outside the top 3 drivers, claiming 2 victories. The 8 years McLaren had invested in Norris had finally paid dividends in spectacular fashion. On the final podium of the year, the strange sight emerged of Norris, the world champion, standing on the 3rd step with Verstappen in the middle as race winner. The 3 drivers sat together on a massive sofa in the cool-down room. "You didn't think about backing up?" Piastri asked Verstappen with a smile. "Congratulations," was Verstappen's simple one-word greeting to his successor as world champion. Norris summed up the intensity of the battle. "I want to give congrats to Oscar and to Max for making us stress like hell. Oscar has driven incredibly, and at some point, he's going to get the better of me." Norris won the title by just 2 points from Verstappen in one of the closest championship finishes in recent memory. The margin serves as a reminder of how critical every moment, every decision, and every point proved throughout the grueling season. With 2026's radical new rules approaching, it remains unknown which constructor will have the advantage, setting the stage for another compelling battle. For now, though, this moment belongs to Lando Norris, who proved he could handle the extreme pressure and fulfill his lifetime ambition of becoming a Formula One world champion. Will Oscar Piastri bounce back and claim his first championship in 2026? Or can Norris defend his crown successfully? What are your predictions for next season? Subscribe to stay updated on all the latest Formula One action and championship battles.